Hello there. Are you ready? Go over and follow the critical drinker. Tell him Tyrone Magnus sent you.
We come to it at last. The great battle of our time.
You know, watching modern Hollywood hacks trying to adapt works of classic fiction is a bit like watching a monkey try to pilot a space shuttle. It's pretty obvious they're going to fail in spectacular fashion, but there's a certain entertainment to be had in watching their feeble, idiotic attempts to get something right. Such was the case with The Rings of Power, an unwelcome billion-dollar vanity project that felt more like a piece of bad fanfiction written by a 13-year-old girl than a serious attempt to expand on Tolkien's work. Tell me, what was your favourite part of that show? The characters who spoke in metaphors so tortured they should have been reclassified
When it was over.
as war crimes?
Like a spring rain over the bones of a spoilt carcass.
And pompous attempts at pseudo-philosophical ramblings that feel like they sprang from the mind of Tommy Wiseau?
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot?
Nah, no idea, mate. The Galadriel that was updated for modern audiences by taking the very epitome of wisdom, feminine beauty, and spiritual power and turning her into a pouty, sullen, aggressive, arrogant, short-sighted girl boss. The Sauron reveal that was so obviously telegraphed that if you didn't see it coming from about 5 episodes away, you were probably a character in this show. The arrival of not Gandalf, who ended up being actual Gandalf because fuck it, creativity and imagination are for losers. The creation of Mordor by a random hobo with a Rube Goldberg machine. The tribe of wandering murder hobbits who gleefully abandon their own people to certain death for the crime of walking too slowly. The not-so-subtle allegory for modern political issues.
He's going off on this.
Or the disastrous interviews with the hardcore Tolkien fans who had clearly never read a single chapter of his work in their entire lives and were nothing but a group of vacuous, empty-headed activists and wannabe influencers that were hired because they tick more diversity boxes than fucking Echo. It all added up to a massive steaming pile of festering donkey shit, which was rightly mocked and torn apart by basically the entire internet. But you know what they say, evil doesn't rest. It waits. And instead of casting this show back into the fiery chasm from whence it came, Amazon decided to forge ahead regardless.
I really can't believe that they did it. I really can't. I figured if you're going to change it up, okay. You're going to please the fans, okay. But I saw the trailer. It doesn't seem like that's what they're going to do.
Season 2 of The Rings of Power. But how exactly would they respond to the armies of angry fans marching on their borders? Were they going to acknowledge the gaping deficiencies in plot and writing, the horrible characters, the infantile dialogue, the chronically bad world building, and the blatant bastardization of Tolkien's legacy, and vow to do better this time around? Nah,
nope.
But at least they hired an all-female directing team for this season.
Son of
Fucking nice one, lad. That'll really get the show back on track. You know, I always love it when Hollywood purposefully excludes the population from their projects, all in the name of inclusion.
Yep.
And now that our inner doublethink is primed and ready, let's take a look at the first teaser trailer. If I had to sum up this, effort with a single word, that word would probably be safe. I mean, I could probably use other words to be fair, but I suspect they'd get this video demonetized, so let's keep it diplomatic. It seems to be almost scientifically calculated to show as little as possible and provide almost no insight into the narrative arc of Season 2. I mean, there's plenty of nice landscape shots that look pretty but mean nothing, and multiple scenes of various characters looking concerned about things, I guess to remind us that they still exist, because I'm willing to bet that most people have forgotten who they even are at this point. Yeah. Well, the 37% who actually managed to finish Season 1 at least. But hey, there's still a few keys left to jank.
And I'm only one of that 37% because I review this stuff.
Go. You remember Barad-dûr, don't you? You remember Mount Doom, don't you? Well, it's still there. So is Halbrand, probably wishing he hadn't signed that multi-season contract at this point. Nice to see Venom branching out into different genres though.
Nah, it did make me think of Venom. And yeah, I've talked about this before. I think a lot of these actors, they sign on, they need a job. I forgot who it was. Was it Rachel Zegler? Was it Rachel Zegler who said something about she like took a part because she needed to work? I think it was the Shazam part. The Shazam part too. The second Shazam. She took that role because she needed the work. You see what I'm talking about? These people take these jobs and they don't know what they're getting into. They don't know whether the movie is going to please the fans, if it's going to be controversial. They just don't know. Man, let me tell you something. I already told you guys before, and I'll say it every time it comes to my mind. I do not care about making it mainstream as an actor. If I have to be in stuff like this or anything else that betrays the fans or the original work of the creator, I want to make films that, are going to be fundamentally sound to, what the creator wanted. You always know that I wanted to be in, Marvel movies and, in the big action movies. And I'm just like, hey, listen, if this is the direction you're going, I'll stay on YouTube forever. That's fine. So it's a shame that these guys, they pick these parts and a lot of them, they're stuck,
No Rings of Power teaser would be complete without everyone's favourite girl boss.
Prepare yourselves.
Oh, I think we're prepared, all right, Guy Ladriel. I really hope this is another ice troll that's about to attack, because she'll polish that shit off quicker than I can get through a pint of Corona. Oh yeah, and remember Diverse Elf for modern audiences? Remember that stupid Matrix-style spin flip that he did in Season 1? Well, I guess that was a feature rather than a bug, because there he is doing the exact same thing again. Like, how the fuck do you just explode out of a stationary wagon like this? Where does all that kinetic energy come from? Why do I feel like I'm watching a Marvel movie? The only real focal point of this seems to be Sauron, who's got himself a perfect disguise this time around.
It's so weird
you
now.
know how that stupid Halbrand mystery plot from Season 1 led to one of the dumbest and most predictable
He looked like a normal guy
TV
there. Now he was
history?
really
Well, they seem to have
strange.
dispensed with it here and just skipped straight to telling us who he is right off the bat.
Yeah.
He's Sauron.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys. We never would have figured out that it's the same exact actor wearing a wig and pointy ears. Ultimately, it's all much ado about nothing, and I think it's a very obvious sign that Amazon know how wildly unpopular this show is and are desperately trying not to offend anyone with this teaser. The new season launches in just over 3 months. Filming wrapped last year, and this is the very first piece of material they've released for it.
It's afraid. It's afraid!
And for me, it defeats the very purpose of a teaser, which is supposed to show you just enough to get you excited and interested in what's coming next. A bit like Tatiana, which is hard at work. But this random collection of landscape shots, character portraits, and vaguely ominous dialogue didn't do anything for me. And by the looks of things, I'm not the only one. As of the time of recording this, the teaser is sitting at 58,000 upvotes and 234,000 downvotes. And honestly, the most entertaining part of the whole experience was reading the comments section. And I think really that was my big takeaway for this whole thing. The animosity of a passionate fan base is an easy thing to gain, but very difficult to lose. And I don't think this teaser has done anything to change that situation. I mean, maybe Season 2 will actually prove to be a big step up from its predecessor.
I'll see.
Anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll just be another expensive disaster that further unites the fan base in their hatred of Amazon. One thing's for sure, though, August is going to be a very interesting time for Lord of the Rings fans. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Yeah, he pretty much said everything I was ever thinking about this and more, drinker. Oh, God. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. If you enjoyed my reaction and thoughts, hit the like button, subscribe, and share.